Welcome back to the Dark Reading News Desk here at Black Hat USA in Las Vegas. Terry Sweeney here with Dark Reading, and joining me now is Nayaki Nayyar, CEO of Securonix. She is joined by Chris Inglis, former U.S. National Cyber Director. Nayaki and Chris, thanks for joining us here on the Dark Reading News Desk.
Thank you, Terry.
It's no secret that AI is overtaking the cybersecurity industry. It doesn't feel like an overstatement. From your perspective, is there real substance behind this hype?
Oh, absolutely. From where we sit, Terry, we see a massive impact of AI in our industry, especially when you look at it from a SOC perspective or a SIM perspective. What takes a SOC analyst maybe a few days to a week to investigate a threat, to hunt for it, and also to respond to it. With AI, it can be done in minutes, if not seconds, right? So it's very transformational that we see having an impact of AI, especially in the space that we are in and the market that we play in today.
Sure. Chris, anything to add there?
No, I think that's right. It's new, it's novel, it's here. And I think that we must make use of it, but it is not without its challenges, right? There is this phenomenon called hallucinations. We have to be aware of those.
Absolutely.
And there's also this issue of it can hold at risk proprietary or privacy related information. And so I think we must use it, but at the same time build in those guardrails that make sure that the human remains at the center, that we have controls on it to ensure it's doing what we want it to do. We know what it's doing for us as it races ahead, and at the same time that the humans understand what controls are in place so that they have confidence they can use it.
One of the potential scenarios that seems to be gaining ground is the idea that security, which from an enterprise and organizational perspective has been largely defensive, may be about to tip over to more of offensive security, really being much more aggressive with responses. This is a bit unsettling for I think everybody really, but is that scenario too far-fetched as we look at how AI may develop over the next, say, 3 years?
Yeah, in fact, Chris and I were just talking about it, of how AI will completely redefine what it will look like in 3 to 4 years. So fast forward 2025, right? And the day in a life of a threat hunter or a SOC analyst is going to be very different, because the day in a life of a threat actor is going to be very different, right? So
that's well said.
I think that's what we need to be preparing for, is how do we truly leverage the power of AI to scenario play that whole day in a life and start building for it and start preparing for it and start releasing solutions and products to address that market.
And Terry, I agree with the import of your question, but I think what I want to see, I think what we all want to see, is to not obsess about the threats or the offensive side that's being held against us, but to be so focused on our positive aspirations, so focused on what we want to do with digital infrastructure that we outpace the offense. So the defense can, for once and perhaps forever, essentially run so fast that it actually proactively delivers on the positive expectations customers have about what digital infrastructure should always have done for us.
Well, I mean, that would certainly be a nice change up from just the the constant escalation, the spy versus spy scenarios, where you just get a bigger thing to defeat the other side, right?
So I think it's about bringing proactivity to defense. It's about bringing coherence to defense so that you actually can understand what you want to do, why your confidence is well placed, and essentially have the tools necessary to do it.
Thanks. Nayaki, how is Securonix using generative AI within its own products to address some of the challenges in the threat landscape?
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of a background on Securonix, we have been a pioneer in the entire UEBA market. We have been a pioneer in what we call the next-gen SIM, the cloud version of SIM. And we also have an end-to-end source. So when you look at Securonix, it's the entire platform, UEBA, SIM, and SOAR. We recently announced a partnership with Snowflake for the data lake, so that we can run on customers bringing their own Snowflake or with embedded Snowflake through Securonix being the entire offering from us. And at Black Hat this week, we released our integration with generative AI and ChatGPT. And it's truly around those use cases for threat hunter, for them to be able to investigate those threats and respond to that. And like I said earlier, what used to take days or weeks for a SOC analyst or a threat hunter to do that work can now truly be done in minutes or seconds, right? So that is where the entire use case is how do we really make the experience, the work, and really reduce the MTTR time for being able to detect and hunt for these threats.
Thanks for that. With so many products coming into the market, especially with threat detection and response, what's happening to keep SIM relevant and providing value, especially when compared to some of the emerging alternatives?
Yeah, I mean, I always look at it's not an alternate. It's not like there needs to be an alternative to SIM. SIM is in the hub, right? It's a core. It's a center of gravity, I call it.
Maybe a complement is a better way to phrase it.
Complement it around with, of course, we have a very strong UEBA. We have very strong, because response is it's all about how we respond to it, right? So we have the full stack. And with what we did with the Snowflake partnership, we are now offering customers a full 365 days of hot search, Terry, that we never had before, or no other vendor has in the market. So you put yourself in the shoes of a customer. They used to only have 7 days or 90 days of hot search. Now they can do a full 365 days of hot search. That is phenomenal, and it's very differentiating for us right now in the market, right? So it's really good.
We started down this path a few minutes ago, but if we look beyond the 3-year window that we were talking about, how do you foresee the proliferation of AI impacting the cybersecurity industry? Is in 10 years, is it basically all AI based, and the way we've programmed it and coded it heretofore is maybe not obsolete, but yesterday's news?
I'll let Chris answer that, but I'll give you a little bit of my perspective on that too, right? It's going to have a huge impact on everything that we do, right? Security is just one angle of how it's going to completely redefine it. Absolutely, it's as transformational as, if you remember, before internet became available, right? There were companies that allowed all their employees to use it, and there were companies that said, no, you can't use it. Right? We are in that same paradigm where there are companies that are allowing everyone to use it. There are companies saying, no, I won't let you use it because of all the other concerns they have. So I think we are in that paradigm shift. So fast forward 5 years, 10 years, I think it's going to be very, very different.
Yes, I certainly agree with that. We can all remember when computers were standalone things, and they weren't networked. They weren't connected to anything than the wall socket where the power was. So when we added the network, the computers remained, but the network added an additional kind of modality. I think AI is going to be the same. It's going to be in everything, under everything, around everything, but the humans will still be in the center of the enterprise if we engineer it right.
I think the internet analogy is a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
we never imagined it would transform our personal lives, our work lives in the way that it has. It feels like AI
Even
is...
if you think of it, Terry, a few years back, let's say 15 years back, these devices were not that relevant or that important for us. Now, we can't live without it.
No,
right?
it's
part
like
of who we
another
are.
appendage, right?
Exactly. So I think that's how it's going to be going forward with AI also.
Good. Nayaki, closer to home, what's your vision for Securonix in this ever-changing market?
Our mission is to help our customers stay ahead of cyber threats. That's our mission. Everything that we are doing with not just SIM, SOAR, and entire UEBA, but how we will develop the experience for that SOC analyst and that threat hunter using AI over the next 3 to 4 years is where we are really doubling down on, and want to really transform that experience and reduce the time it takes for a threat hunter to detect and investigate and respond.
Right. Well, Nayaki, Nayyar, and Chris Inglis, thanks for gazing into the crystal ball of AI with us. Appreciate you joining us on News Desk today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much for
Thanks,
your time.
Terry. Thank you.
We've been talking with Nayaki Nayyar of Securonix and Chris Inglis. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll be back shortly.